Welcome to the Rainy Day Rabbit Holes podcast, your escape from the mundane.
Dive into the rich history of the Pacific Northwest with us and let your mind wander down the rabbit hole.
Because in the Northwest, it's always raining something weird. I am Shea.
And I'm Jody. Let's fall down the rabbit hole.
Today's story has it all. Fear, endurance, a bit of madness, and one man's determination to outlast everyone. Underground. And this one's got a bit of an Irish flair. Mick Meaney, our star, is from your neck of the woods, County Tipperary, Ireland, where Jody and I will be visiting next year. So buckle up. This is going to be a wild ride. All right, but before we get going, I want to welcome today's special guest. It's only Kevin Ryan from the Tyrant and Training podcast.
Yay, hello again, Shea.
Again, exactly. You've heard Kevin before. I was a guest on his hilarious podcast a few months back. And it was even earlier than that. Wasn't it like June?
A while back, yeah.
May?
I think it was around the summer.
Yeah.
Even before, yeah.
And in December of last year, he was our guest to talk about Mark Driscoll of the Mars Hill Church. So welcome back, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
And for those of our listeners who aren't familiar with your show, give us a quick synopsis.
The Tyrant and Training podcast is something that I host, and it is an improv comedy podcast where guests become the tyrannical leaders of their own island. So they can be malevolent or benevolent or whatever way they want to be.
Or batshit crazy.
Or batshit crazy. Most do that. A lot of people assume to be evil. When I say you can rule your own nation, they go, "Ooh, I better be a tyrant then." I'm like, that's just the title of the podcast.
It's in the title, Kevin.
Yeah, but you can do what you want. If you make up the rules. But your episode took a very cult-like flair to it, and then you invited me onto a previous episode of this podcast for a cult leader as well. So
I figured it was fitting. Yeah.
Now I'm wondering about what's the name? Mick Meaney.
Mick Meaney. Yeah, nothing to do with cults this time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can like this guy.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's quite a character.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
All right. Also, you can find Tyrant and Training at tyrantandtraining.io or always on our website, rainydayrabbitholes.com/umbrella, because he is a member of our Umbrella podcast collective. Okay, so before we get going in the story, we're going to start off with a round of Would You Rather.
Oh, yay.
All right, Kevin. Would you rather be trapped in a box underground for 61 days with nothing to eat but Brussels sprouts, or be trapped in a box underground for 61 days with the soundtrack to the movie Mamma Mia playing on an endless loop? Are you familiar with that one? ABBA?
I listened to ABBA, yeah.
Dancing Queen?
I remember listening when I was younger. Yeah, and Mamma Mia, the song itself.
For 61 days on an endless loop.
And I can go to sleep.
I mean, you can try.
I will succeed in that. Yeah, no, I'll do the ABBA thing. I don't like Brussels sprouts.
Okay. Plus, they make people fart.
Wait, do I get to eat? Or am I sustaining myself off of...
You're sustaining yourself off of Brussels sprouts.
Off of Dancing Queen.
Yeah.
No, but if I'm just listening to music, I'm just somehow living...
Well, no, you can have normal food.
Oh, you can, yeah.
But ABBA.
Yeah.
Or Brussels sprouts and Blessed Silence.
Can I... Sorry, I'm really delving into this, but do I have to listen to ABBA singing all these songs, or is it the movie where Pierce Brosnan tried to sing, I think, in it, didn't he?
Oh, I'm going to go with the worst one, which is Pierce Brosnan trying to sing.
I'm happily. He's an Irish legend, so yeah. No.
But he was terrible in that
He was terrible, but he has every right to be. Have you seen? He is a very handsome old Irish man.
He is a very handsome man.
Extremely handsome.
I didn't know he was Irish.
Yeah, he's in Navan. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thomas Crown Affair, his version of it. Oh, such a good movie.
Yeah, no,
so hot.
Man. Yeah.
Okay, second round. Would you rather be trapped in a box underground for 61 days that constantly smells like wet socks, and that would be stinky wet socks, not clean wet socks.
Yeah.
Or be trapped in a box underground for 61 days and your mother calls you every 5 minutes to tell you about her medical problems in excruciatingly embarrassing detail, like lady problems and everything.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to say I'm mature enough to be like, hey, look, lady problems and stuff. Ladies are people, so let's not delve into the I'm a man going, oh, women. But I'm a bit worried about the fact that my mother's ringing me every 5 minutes with medical issues. That's a bit grim. So,
Well, it's not like every 5 minutes is a new medical issue. It's just she wants to talk about all of her medical issues every 5 minutes. So that's every 5 minutes, including when you want to sleep.
Okay, but her mind is going.
So you're going to get 5 minutes of sleep at a time.
Her mind is going as well. So I'm going to keep my mother happy. And I'm going to say, I get used to the socks.
Oh.
You know? I live in a house with 3 indoor cats.
Right.
I imagine people walking in are alarmed at the litter smell. So, and I've become accustomed to it. So it's fine. No, I'm going with the wet socks.
Okay.
I'll get used to this one.
Wet socks. Okay. All right. Well, I would have chosen different ones. I would have chosen Brussels sprouts because I would have said, well, can I saute those Brussels sprouts with bacon and a little maple syrup?
Douse them in maple syrup so you can't taste the Brussels sprouts anymore.
Brussels sprouts. I like Brussels sprouts. Bacon and some salt and a little maple syrup. Oh yeah, good stuff. Yeah, and because I cannot stand. My dear friend Erin forced me to watch Mamma Mia one night, and I will never get those 2 hours back out of my life. I'm not a fan.
And you've now unfriended Erin.
No, we're still best friends. It's all right. I've made her watch some other bad movies.
Is there not a sequel to Mamma Mia? There's a sequel to Mamma Mia, isn't there?
Unfortunately.
No. Get on to her.
She is not going to get me to watch it.
I'm just putting it out there.
Not happening.
She's listening. Yeah.
Okay.
You'd love to.
Let's get back to this story. Because we have
Mick Meaney has done all these things.
Digressed. Okay. So let's kick things off with a fear that might send chills down your spine. Taphophobia.
Fear of taps.
It's the fear of being buried alive.
Ah.
And back in the day, it wasn't just some random phobia. Before doctors had a solid grip on diagnosing death, well, let's just say some poor souls had a very unpleasant wake-up call 6 feet under. The fear wasn't just a dark corner of people's imaginations. There were real cases of premature burial, and these stories spread like wildfire. Communities whispered about coffins being opened to reveal scratch marks on the lids. People were terrified, and rightly so. Medicine wasn't exactly foolproof back then. I mean, leeches and bleeding were still considered the height of medical science. And they actually sometimes still do use leeches in real medicine.
Yeah, well, it'd be a cheaper option, surely, wouldn't it? Although I wonder, is it cheaper?
Yeah. I think there's specific things that they use it for where it's actually really good. And I know Jody told me that in some hospitals, they actually use maggots for wound cleaning.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah, when it gets like really gangrenous, you can put, and they're like maggots that are like sterile maggots somehow.
Yeah, they're really clean looking.
Yeah, and they put them in there and they eat all the dead tissue and clean the wound. So that still is used sometimes. Anyways.
Would you be happy with that?
I would be.
If that was being done, yeah.
I might need to be in a coma.
Knocked out. Yeah.
Yeah, how would you feel about that?
I think I'd be happy. You have at it. I like animals, all sorts. So yeah, feast on, boys.
So one of my nightmares is having worms under my skin. And that's just a little too close to that.
Okay.
That and also having to poop in public.
With maggots under your skin. Or no, worms under your skin. Yeah.
I mean, both would be bad. No, literally, you have to go to the bathroom and the only toilet is a toilet sitting in a crowd of people.
And these are part of your dream. Okay, we're getting off. Yeah, no,
we're
okay.
I'll again.
Check this out later. Yeah.
All right. So the fear of being buried alive was so pervasive that it inspired one of history's greatest broody lads, Edgar Allan Poe. Now, Poe didn't just lean into this theme. He dove headfirst. His story, The Premature Burial, is basically a step-by-step guide to ensuring you never sleep again. It's dramatic, dark, and dripping with gothic dread. Typical Poe, right? And let's be real. If anyone was going to turn such a horrifying idea into art, it was going to be him. And this is only one of his 5 tales dealing with the subject, including The Fall of the House of Usher and The Cask of Ooh, this is a difficult one. Amontillado. Sure. Cask of... How would you say that one?
I'm going to have to pour cask of...
Amontillado.
Amontillado. Yeah.
Amontillado.
That'll do.
Okay.
Yeah.
The cask of Amontillado. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. Well, sort of. The fear of being buried alive inspired some, let's call them creative solutions. Enter the safety coffin.
Sounds promising.
These contraptions were like the iPhones of the Victoria era. Innovative, complicated, and absolutely extra. Some came with bells you could ring from below. Others had flags or even air tubes. One particularly wild design had a little window so folks could check in on you.
A window.
Can you imagine like waking up and there's a little window and you're like, hi, still alive? Can I get a snack?
But wait, if you're buried 6 feet underground,
so
does that mean
they would leave the coffins out for a while before they would be like actually buried. It got to that point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for that type of coffin, but the ones with bells and stuff, there was like a contraption
You
where
had the little
like they would tie a little string to the corpse's finger that was attached to a bell up above. So, but the problem is there would be false rings because before embalming, as a corpse decomposes, gases cause the body to move.
Oh, yes.
So, the bell would ring because the corpse was moving from the gases. Or if you're talking about like an old pine box that would eventually rot and then rodents or other type of vermin got in there.
They'd start moving the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yes. The rodents trying to get out. And they're like, we got to save that rat.
So here's the thing. While these coffins were designed to save lives, they didn't get much use. Most people couldn't afford them. And let's face it, the odds of being buried alive were still plenty slim. But the ingenuity, top marks for effort. Taking it a bit further, the Society for the Prevention of People Being Buried Alive was founded in 1896 for obvious reasons. Among other ideas, the society proposed a law that would prevent the burial of people until they started to smell dead.
Yeah, but after a night out, the next morning I can smell dead. And
Right,
your
fiance has probably accused you of that at some point.
I mean, like, time to bury Kevin.
Yeah, a night out of drinking and you're too drunk to brush your teeth or shower or get out of the clothes you were wearing all night long in a hot, sweaty, stinky bar.
And this is 1896, you said,
yeah.
Right? So it's not like, you have a can of deodorant beside you. So like, all of those people are pretty smelly to begin with.
Right, I was going to say, like the 1890s, people weren't bathing like super often, so...
Do you know what's weird about that?
So Johnny just smells slightly riper than normal.
Do you know what I don't get about that? You know, if you look up like any bit of ancient history, like the Greeks or the Romans, right? And there's probably loads more places, but they're always like, oh, in Rome they had 9,000 baths that people would go out during the day. They'd get up in the morning at 5 a.m. They'd go do their bit of work, and then at 11 they're in the baths, right?
Yeah.
The public baths, and they're in there every second day.
Yeah.
Right? So if they're hanging out in the baths and showering all day, they have to be okay, especially ancient times. So at what point in history did society decide, screw the baths, we're not doing that every second day, we'll just go a full year?
Kevin, it was the English.
It was the English.
The English are stinky.
That's, yeah.
They're the ones who started that trend. Remember, they were like... They thought that a good stink would ward off evil spirits.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that was a thing. But like, it's interesting. I was listening to this one podcast about the Vikings, and apparently the Vikings were very clean when you put them up against the English. When they encountered the Saxons, they were like, who are these disgusting, stinky people? Like the Vikings would clean themselves. They would wash their hair. They would wash their clothing, like regularly, like at least once a week, which, was a big deal when the Saxons were like, I've had my bath this year. I'm good to go.
But then the English, turns into the British Empire and they turn into fine, upstanding British gentlemen who,
I think the The rich people,
Yeah.
probably.
Ooh, that's
and
true.
the poor people just... Because think about, like, bathing was a luxury, too. If you're working from dawn to dusk, and then what? You got to haul water and heat it up and dump it into a bathtub and...
The English are really the fault of all of history's ills, aren't they?
They are, aren't they?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I want to state that as a fact on this podcast. Yeah.
They're the ones who came over to America and turned it into what it is.
And took away your showers. Yeah.
That's right. It's all the British fault.
Oh, good to know. Yeah. Okay, good to know. Let's check that. Yeah.
We've just lost all of our British followers.
That's all right. That's why I'm on your podcast and we're not saying this on mine.
Well, that's all right. You know, our second biggest demographic is Ireland, so they can appreciate it.
Oh,
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's our second biggest listenership is Ireland. All right. Well, let's get back to this story. So let's dive into a few of the wildest designs of these safety coffins. So some of them had breathing tubes that extended to the surface, giving you just enough oxygen to stay alive, if you were alive. Others had spring-loaded lids that could pop open if you regained consciousness. And there was even one with a built-in megaphone, so you could shout for help if you found yourself waking up underground. And some inventors came up with some more elaborate solutions. In the late 1800s, a German company marketed a grave alarm system. It had a string connected to a bell above ground, and if you move, the bell would ring. We already talked about that.
Done, yeah.
And if no one came running when they heard that ring, a secondary mechanism released a small explosive charge to alert the cemetery staff. So
like TNT strapped to the bell.
So there's just explosions going off in the graveyard.
Okay. Surely the rat problem would still cause that to...
I would think.
Fire.
I'd be interested to know how often that happened.
I would go for the spring-loaded thing. I just think that'd be hilarious. Like, how powerful is that spring-loaded door?
Oh, like, does it pop off and you go pop up like like Dracula?
Like Dracula firing across the graveyard. Yeah.
So long before magician David Blaine suspended himself in clear boxes or in blocks of ice, 20th century culture had a small corner reserved for feats of human endurance. There were the phone booth contests of the 1950s, with organizers seeing how many people could be stuffed into one. Flagpole sitting contests, which...
Sit on a flagpole.
Like, how do you sit on a flagpole?
Painfully.
It tasks people with perching atop a swaying, towering pole. I think that there was probably a platform.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, okay.
Because my first thought is, wow, that sounds uncomfortable. I hope they had an industrial size jar of KY.
Yeah, do that, David Blaine. See how brave you are then.
Yeah.
Anyone can stand in a bloody box for a while.
Can you sit on a flagpole?
Sit on a flagpole. Do you think someone insulted someone else? Going, go and sit on a flagpole. And they went, all right, I will.
Sure.
And they're like, my God, what's he doing? Yeah.
People hula hooped until their hips gave out. During the Great Depression, they danced until exhaustion took over. The spectacles, many of them punishing, would usually attract a morbidly curious audience. In the 1960s, the fad was human burial. Characters with names like Digger Odell welcomed mounds of dirt to be heaped atop them while they idled underground with air and food passed to them via tubing. Texan Bill White had made a career out of it, dubbing himself the Living Corpse, and agreeing to be lowered into the ground to promote car dealerships, drive-ins, and other businesses. And he married Lottie Howard, another burial pro, by lowering a ring down into her casket. That's so romantic. So you guys have already proposed to Celine, so it's too late for that. But yeah,
it's too late for that. Yeah,
but
yeah. Maybe another woman I'll lower in the ground, and yeah.
Well, maybe on your 20-year anniversary, you ask her to marry you again, and you do that. Yeah.
I think a big moment for my parents, it's coming up soon, their 40th or 50th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
I might suggest this. Yeah.
It's so romantic. Nothing says your love like being buried alive.
These people are doing these things during the 1960s.
Yeah. Well, the 1950s and 60s were wild, 50s. Man.
But do you think that's just what TikTok is? Because people on TikTok just do stuff to like that. Most people would go, "That's embarrassing. I wouldn't do that," but they do it for engagement. So do you think back then they were just like, "I wouldn't bury myself now for the fun of it," but I'm morbidly curious, and then
there was like 3 television channels, and most people didn't have TV, so you were listening to radio. So something like that was probably like people went to these events and stood around and watched it because that was entertainment, baby.
These were influencers in a way.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
The birth of influencers, yeah.
So the records for these stunts were usually self-reported, and as these things go, murky. Had anyone bothered to check up on a newspaper archive, they would have found predecessors. In 1933, an Illinois man named Jack Lorraine claimed to have spent 64 days in the dirt. In 1963, Frank Allen, a circus clown in West Virginia, emerged after 73 days. The fad may have been niche, but it was undeniably fascinating, a strange intersection of human curiosity and morbid spectacle. It sounds terrible. You're just laying in a box.
Like, they are just self-reporting. Yeah, but how do we know? So, I'll go into, with, I don't know if you're familiar with WWE wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, at least they used to have years ago. I don't know that they still do it now. But there's a wrestler who's retired now called The Undertaker.
Right.
Right? He used to have this speciality of a match called a Buried Alive match. Right?
Oh, no, I did not know
where
that.
He'd be every so often they would come along. Maybe only 3 or 4 times he did it. I don't know. But it would be, the objective would be they'd have a grave kind of built in their set or whatever, right? Load of dirt in a big hole. And the objective was throw the wrestler in and then dump a load of dirt on him, burying him alive. But I mean, they gimmick that, like. So what would happen is the wrestler would jump into the hole, and then before the dirt comes in, they would just go into a compartment to the right hand side of it where they're safe and happy and
right.
delighted. And then the dirt would fall into the empty grave. So how do we know these guys weren't just doing that and then they were faking off to like Aruba for 2 weeks and then coming back going, "Oh, it was a long 14 days," but like,
well, because they had some sort of, they were lowering food down to these people and they had some sort of way of communicating with them when they were in there. So I don't know how they kept track. Like, did they have a guard on them at all times? I don't know.
They sent a guard down with them.
Somebody else had to be down there.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
That's a terrible job. So now that we've set the stage, let's meet today's protagonist. I've taken a while to get around to this guy, haven't I? Mick Meaney.
It's the man from Mick Meaney.
Mick Meaney. Mick was born in County Tipperary, Ireland, and he was about as salt of the earth as they come. A builder and a laborer, he spent his days working hard and his evenings dreaming big. Like many lads of his time, he fancied himself a bit of a boxer. He even trained and had ambitions to go professional. But the realities of life and the need to earn a steady living kept those dreams on the back burner. In the early 1960s, he became a barman at the Admiral Nelson pub in Kilburn, London, England. So Mick's life wasn't all toil and no play, though. He was known for his good humor and strong will. And he had one quality that would come in handy later, an unshakable determination. It was this stubborn streak that led him to the most unusual chapter of his life. Are you looking at Mick Meaney?
I wanted to see where he was in Tipperary, but I didn't find out where he was born.
There's not a lot of details about...
No, I didn't find that
where
out.
I think he was born in like 1935. So, records.
Don't know any Meanies around the house. Yeah, okay, I don't think he's a neighbour anyway. Or,
No, probably not. It looks like he fucked off to London at some point anyway. So one day at work, Mick found himself buried under rubble. And I don't know the details of how you find yourself buried under rubble.
Wait, he worked in a pub?
Yeah, he worked in a pub. But I think he also was a laborer, so he was probably at a construction site, not at the pub.
We don't know that for sure.
That's
I don't
true.
think we can say that.
Pubs in the 60s.
No, let's not. I think we should assume the pub fell on him.
There was no whatever is the English version of OSHA at that time, probably.
Probably not.
So now most people would take this as a sign to maybe avoid tight spaces for a while, but not Mick. Oh no. Instead, he thought, I could probably do this on purpose for longer and maybe make a name for myself. Like you do.
Okay. I'm waiting to see his logic in that, but I don't think I'm going to get it from him. But yeah, all right.
Like, I've been rear-ended in my car, and I didn't think, like, maybe I could do this professionally.
Yeah, my friend very lightly ran over my foot with a car, and I didn't think, I could do this professionally. All right.
Let's see if I can have my foot run over by bigger vehicles.
Yeah.
Let's get that dump truck over there. How about a steamroller?
You there with that airplane.
Right.
Land on my foot.
So enter Michael, oh goodness, Sugre. Sugre?
Sugar.
Doesn't that
Okay,
sound,
yeah.
isn't that Sugre?
Are you? Yeah.
Sugre? Okay.
Yeah.
Why am I putting an exotic
What?
R on it?
I'm not sure. He's Irish, for God's sake. Sugar. That's all it
Michael
is.
Sugre.
What is it? I have no idea what this is. Is that his wife?
No, this is his employer. Okay, so enter Michael Sugre. Enter Michael Sugre, Mick's employer and a local strongman. Sugre was a showman at heart and loved a good spectacle. Together, they hatched a plan. Mick would break the world record for being buried alive. But before he went underground, they needed to make a splash, and boy, did they. The send-off party at the Admiral Nelson pub in Kilburn was nothing short of legendary. It was a full Irish wake. So picture it. Locals gathered for this live wake, complete with music, laughter, and more than a few pints.
Right.
Irish tenor Jack Doyle serenaded Mick, adding a touch of drama to the occasion. Then, right there in the pub, Mick climbed into his coffin and was carted off to his friend's backyard, who had donated not only the truck to transport the coffin, but his backyard for Mick to be buried in. That would be so awkward.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about my backyard. I knew there was somebody out there alive and buried.
You go out and check every now and again, or there's a bell going every night at 3 a.m.
Right.
You're like, ugh.
That's so creepy. I don't like it. I don't want anybody in my backyard ever.
How do you bring up that conversation to the guy? Listen, your backyard there is pretty big. Do you mind if I lie in it for 2 months?
Well, it was probably... I bet this guy was at the pub, and I bet they were all having a few pints, and he was telling his buddy, like, here's what I want to do. And he's like, oh, you could use my backyard.
You just want to be involved with the crowd.
And then his wife was probably like, God damn it, why didn't you talk to me first?
Do you know what? He wasn't their friend. He wanted to be.
Oh, I get it.
He was on the outside of the group and they were all having fun. And
Hey, you could use
they
my
said,
backyard.
Oh, you can use mine, please. And they're like, oh God, what was his name again?
The backyard person?
Yeah, the backyard. Yeah, does he have a name?
It was in the article, but I did not write it down. That's how forgettable he is.
Timothy.
There you
Timothy going, oh, the backyard, I have a great house, and I don't rent. And they're like, oh, shut up. Yeah, okay, don't like him.
Oh, and here's the kicker. Mick didn't bother telling his pregnant wife about this little stunt. She found out on the radio.
It would only worry her.
Right. I mean,
she doesn't need that in her condition.
Right? Can you imagine? Like, you're just sitting there having your morning tea and you hear local man buries himself alive for 2 months. I think that they maybe should get divorced.
But,
Could you divorce him while he was in there? Could you pass the divorce paperwork down to him?
In the tube. If he gets stuck, though, he's gone for good. Yeah, you need to make sure that's fed down okay. But if the radio is reporting on it, they're not reporting on it. I'm just trying to figure out, are they saying on the radio, local man Mick Meaney is buried underground for the next 60 odd days? Like, do they know how long he's going to be down there for? Or are they saying?
I mean, I don't know.
Like, are they just saying?
I don't know if he had gone down saying, I'm going to do it for at least this long, or if he was just like, I think that he was trying to make it to
a record or something.
Like 75 days or something, but gave up at 60.
Because that's why, like, if it's on the radio and it's just local man Mick Meaney is alive, but he's underground. We've asked his wife to comment. Yeah. All right. So he's going for 75 days. Fair play to him.
Yep. So the burial site itself was quite the setup. Mick's coffin was reinforced to withstand the weight of the earth above. Air pipes ensured he could breathe, and a tube system allowed food and water to be passed down to him. They even rigged a communication line so he could send messages to the surface. Once underground, Mick settled in for the long haul. For entertainment, well, your guess is as good as mine. Maybe he composed limericks. Who knows? Either way, he had plenty of time to think or regret his choices. But word of Mick's stunts spread, and soon an American named Country Bill White decided to try the same thing. Suddenly, it wasn't just a quirky Irish spectacle. It was an international showdown. Well, I guess English spectacle, since it was in England. The BBC even arranged a live satellite link so Mick and Bill could chat with each other from their respective coffins.
It's a lot of effort for two stupid people.
Remember, there was very little in the way of entertainment back then.
Yeah, but it's a low bar to start off with.
Right. The rivalry added an extra layer of drama. Newspapers covered the story, and people across the globe tuned in to see who would outlast the other.
What?
It was a bizarre yet captivating spectacle, blending endurance, curiosity, and just a dash of madness.
Why are you tuning in? Like, what? Nothing's going to happen the moment you tune in. Like, oh, Mick is...
What's happening at the side of the grave today?
pissed himself again. We'll see. Will he come out now? Oh, his socks are wet now because he peed himself.
Yeah, what do you do about your bodily wastes down there? You just sitting in it? Well, also...
I think there's a hole at the bottom of the...
Oh, you have
coffin.
like a permanent bedpan kind of situation?
Yeah.
Oh, gross. Yeah. How gross. Why would you... And then think about this. Like, if you're in the hospital in a bed, they turn you regularly so you don't get bed sores. But is that
He probably had room to turn.
You think so? But then his
Day
butt
14,
won't be...
time to turn around.
But then his butt won't be positioned in the right place. God, it's so gross.
I'd imagine you decide going in, okay, I'm going to poo every second day. So on the first day I'll turn, and then the second day I won't, you know?
Okay.
That's how I do it.
Wow.
That's as much thought process I'm going to put into this.
But it's like, why?
Because the idea of this guy being, he was life and soul the party at the bar and everyone loved him. He wasn't. He wasn't liked, and he wanted attention. This is Elon Musk without money. All right? He'll do anything.
Just somebody pay attention to me.
Just pay attention to me. There's two of them. Jesus, it's the worst plot for a movie that I will consider writing later.
Write it, Kevin.
Maybe, yeah. Make it a rom-com.
Oh, so somebody that's up there like passing him food and water falls in love with them, and they communicate.
No, it's the two competing ones.
Oh, so
right?
there's like okay.
Yeah, the two competing ones. But what you do is you jim in a bit. You change a few details. You'd have the two coffins beside each other.
Okay. And they can talk to each other like through the dirt.
They're beside each other, but you still have to have the tube for them to talk.
Okay.
It'd be a very boring. Don't get me wrong. This is a very boring movie.
Okay, wait. If there's a tube for them to talk, does that mean that smells can also go through? Can you turn that off? Or
no. I don't think. I think this is 1960s, so you don't have that.
So you have no privacy.
No, I am going full rom-com at this. I think Lindsay Lohan in one box.
Oh God! So it's a Hallmark movie.
The Hallmark route is the only way to do this. Yeah.
Well, you have to do this one on a budget, so.
And you call it Fox in the Box. Oh, this is fantastic.
I love it.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, here's the way you have to write this though, as a Christmas rom-com, because that's the only way you're going to sell it to Hallmark. With Lindsay Lohan.
How do you make it Christmassy though, unless it's Santa?
Well, no, you can make it happen over Christmas. It doesn't have to be like specific anything Christmas characters.
Oh, that's true.
It'd be like...
Yeah, okay. The
town around them is Christmassy, and people are enjoying their Christmas stuff, and these two people are down in the ground not getting to enjoy Christmas. And then...
Oh, would you have a nice moment where, like, one of them's thinking, like, I might give up, and then and then suddenly they see something coming through the little tube where they talk, and it's a Brussels sprout. It's a present, right?
Like they're passing food to each other. Is that what you're saying?
They shove they something, a rat fucking carries a Brussels sprout through, and that's a present.
Well, because there's people giving you food from up above, so maybe they're like passing down Christmas cookies because it's Christmas time, and so the one person gives the other person the Christmas cookie to try to like cheer them up. A little Christmas present.
Yeah, for throwing some mistletoe. Yeah, no, I think that's the only way to do this anyway. Is Hallmark, Lindsay Lohan. And
is the tube big enough you can stick your hand through? Because you hold hands through the tube?
To be honest, at this point, I feel like that tube is going to get so wide they're just crawling through it themselves. I think you have to limit it.
Okay. Well, no, you could have it be that big and an arm could fit through there.
No, because then I'm worried that someone's going to try and be fitting other parts of their body through it, and then it gets into...
So it's a glory hole.
It's a different sort of rating on that movie. 80 minutes of this movie, and that's the ending.
It's only appropriate for Pornhub at this point.
That's yeah. Hallmark Studios mixed with.
And there probably is a weird kink that is into that sort of thing.
Yeah, good story.
Appropriate.
Yeah. Okay, what were we talking about?
I don't know. Okay. So back to Mick.
Oh yeah, Mick and the competitor.
Okay. All right. So Mick spent an astonishing 61 days buried underground. When he finally emerged, he was pale, exhausted, and probably in dire need of a Guinness and a shower. Did he brush his teeth under there? Probably not.
Oh, no.
Gross.
Honestly, that'd probably be one of the least of his concerns.
Right. The sweaters on your teeth.
He's Irish. He's always pale.
It wasn't any different than normal.
Yeah, no.
But he'd done it. The crowd went wild, cameras flashed, and Mick had his moment of glory.
Yeah, well done.
He'd set a world record. Had he? And carved his name into the annals of quirky history. Kind of sounds like somebody else had done it longer before, but I guess they didn't bother to check. What happened to Mick after his underground adventure? Well, he returned to a quieter life, but his story lived on. Today, there is a monument in County Cork honoring Mick Meaney's incredible feat. Why not Tipperary? Don't know.
Why not Tipperary?
Don't know.
We don't give a fuck about him.
Because Tipperary's like, yeah, this is boring. And Cork's like, somebody pay attention to us over here.
He has to have relatives in Cork. That's just...
So the things I saw said he was from County Tipperary, but maybe that was wrong. Maybe he's from Cork. Because then it says that the thing was in Cork. I don't know.
Apparently he was born in Tipperary. I just very quickly, looked it up. But
I didn't really go super deep because it's the story.
It sounds like Cork would do that though. Tipperary wouldn't have the heart to make a monument. We wouldn't be bothered with it. Yeah. You're not.
You're like, we got better things to do.
No, it doesn't impress us. Stay down there for 75 days and we'll see what you do.
So in 2021, a documentary brought his story back into the spotlight, which I have not had a chance to find. I didn't look. I was like, I'm not that dedicated to this story.
No. I mean, once boring. I hope the documentary has an interview with him at least, maybe.
Yeah. I'll have to look for it. I was researching some crazy. I was like, what are some of the craziest things that's happened in history? And this one came up, and I was like, okay, that sounds fun. And I'm talking with Kevin from Tipperary. There's a connection there.
The truth is we often do this as a hobby.
You're both pale?
We're both pale, and we both like to bury ourselves in the neighbour's yard.
But for you, it's just under a pile of sheets and blankets and cats.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, so next time you're tempted to complain about a bad day, just remember, at least you're not lying in a coffin for 2 months.
And next time a building falls on you, try and look on the bright side and think you can get... I wonder, did he get any money? He didn't.
I don't know.
Because
there wasn't much about it. Like, why would anybody give you any money? I mean, I guess, like, the guy in America turned it into a money-making thing. He would do stunts for, like, car dealerships and stuff, because car dealerships were always doing weird stuff in, like, the 1950s and 60s.
So that's just...
In America, yeah, America's happy to do that sort of weird thing.
That's just stupid Irish mentality. He went and did that, and then afterwards they went, oh, do you want to do some interviews about it? He was like, I won't, no, I have to go back to work. Whereas at least the guy in America was like, okay, I'm going to make my name out of this. Like, you know how I said about the whole, like, this was basically TikTok in the 60s?
Right.
With just people not caring to embarrass themselves and humiliate themselves. Like, if the Hawk Tua girl was from Tipperary, she would have went, I don't want to talk about it, and go back to working, customer service. But, like, in America, she went, right, let's do podcasting and all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. That's what Mick should have done, but he didn't bother. That's what kind of gets me. He could have done crypto or something.
Also,
crypto scamming.
No crypto back then, but yes, he could have started a tequila brand.
Or branded coffins.
Oh, there you go. Because wasn't that about when, like, coffins started to get real fancy and expensive?
Just normal coffins, Mick. Or cough syrup. Anything with any vague reference to coffin. Bedpans, anything. Brussels sprouts.
Bed sore ointment.
Anything. Jesus, there's some of the crap that celebrities hawk now and they have nothing to do with it, like, in the first place. It's fine. Right. I just don't get how, like, well, I know he's had problems now, but the likes of, like Conor McGregor being, famous for many reasons, but then, like, a UFC champion fighter, right? That's that's where he started.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, this guy, peak physical specimen who is capable of murdering you with his bare hands.
Right, he can crush your skull.
Yeah.
Before you can finish your beer.
Yeah. Do you know what that reminds you of? Tequila. Yeah, he should sell tequila. He'll know exactly what to make tequila out of. And you're like, why? Because he likes to get hammered every now and again. You're like, all right.
Yeah, didn't he have some problems?
Yeah, he's probably a horrible man.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it.
Yeah,
wasn't he beating the shit out of people at airports or something? I don't know. One of those things.
Loads of things. Yeah, no, just Google some of them. You'll find loads of them. He could be behind me.
There's enough bad things going on in America. I don't need to look up Conor McGregor
but it's like getting a really, really talented, like, doctor, and then going, oh, he also sells golf clubs out the back of his car. And be like, oh, well, he definitely knows them. Why? Oh, he plays it once or twice. And you're like, all right. Or he's mad for the golf.
I fully endorse these ping clubs.
Yeah, like, surely he should be endorsing, MMA-related stuff. But yeah, loads of celebrities do it.
Yeah, he should be endorsing. Oh, he probably does. Supplements, because everybody endorses supplements. Because there's no
probably.
Are there regulations in Ireland about supplements?
I've never heard of them.
Okay, yeah, in America they're not regulated at all.
I mean, we're part of the EU, so I'm going to assume they are.
No, I don't think it practically is. You guys got a long downhill skid to go to get to where we are.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's illegal in America not to, like, endorse supplements if you're a bit famous, right? Yeah.
Right. So thank you to my guest host, Kevin, who is a member of our Umbrella Podcast Collective. I will be seeing you next year, and that's not a threat.
Yes, absolutely. I will alert the police. Or the Gardaí.
Alert the Gardaí. There's these weird Americans coming to town. So make sure to check out his podcast, Tyrant in Training, at tyrantandtraining.io. And thank you again to all of our supporters. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget, as a supporter, you get a discount on merch. So you can email me directly if you don't have that at Shea@rainydayrabitholes.com. And we have a ton of new merch. And especially now that I've added a payment system, you can actually buy it.
That's a key.
It was a problem before.
That's a key part of the whole purchase process. Oh, yeah.
You could look at it, but you couldn't buy it. I spent 4 hours this morning playing with designs, like just having a the time of my life.
It'd be so much fun. Yeah.
I know it. I was like, nobody's ever going to buy this stuff, but I had so much fun making it. I made an all over print series. That's really fun. And I sent it to my brother, and he's like, "But will anybody actually wear that?"
But if they did,
it's there.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kevin. This has been an absolute delight.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Lovely to chat again. See you down the rabbit hole. Oh, sorry. What? Okay. I thought I was enthusiastic. See you down the rabbit hole.
See you down the rabbit hole. I like your take on it. See you down the rabbit hole. See you down the rabbit hole.
There. That'll do.
That'll do. Yeah.